Given the popularity of nitro-powered vehicles, we thought it'd be a great time to test drive Team Losi's NXT two-wheel drive race truck. Hi, I'm Jeff Maturo. Welcome to RCTV. We also have front row seats at our local Academy of Model Aeronautics Flying Club, and we'll see just how well our project speedboat, the Kyosho Blade Runner, is coming along. This plus helpful tips and the latest in RC-related products. But up first, Team Losi's second attempt into the nitro-powered 1/10 scale two-wheel drive truck market. In case you guys were wondering, the GTX was the first. Here is the NXT.
The Team Losi NXT is the second nitro gas truck to come out of the world champion manufacturer's stables. Like all of Losi's kits, the NXT arrives in neatly packaged labeled bags to ease the assembly process. Tires, rims, body, and decals are included. You need to provide the 2-channel radio and 12 or 15 size engine for power. The NXT is quite an improvement over its predecessor, although they share several common parts. The rear suspension arms are carryovers along with the front steering knuckles and carriers. Team Losi thoughtfully includes a set of full ball bearings, including bearings in the 3-gear transmission. Speaking of transmissions, the NXT features Losi's race-proven dual-disc slipper clutch. This was a feature first adopted by world champion Losi driver Brian Kinwall. The front end sports a new shock tower with revised geometry. This new design is said to help stability in the straightaways and aid the NXT's jumping abilities. 4 coil-over oil-filled shocks provide the dampening. The engine bolts to a non-adjustable engine mount. We would have liked to have seen the option of making adjustments. Nevertheless, neophytes will enjoy 2 less screws to mess with. When Losi designed the NXT, they wanted to have a truck that could go from a kit to the track and be competitive without the need for a major overhaul. The NXT steered well, cornered with ease, and recovered nicely from jumps. The double disc slipper seemed more than adequate when tested on several different track surfaces. We used an OS 12 size engine for the test, which started without hesitation. We had more than enough power when we had the opportunity to run it wide open. After all, that is why we race RC: speed. It was hard to resist gunning the NXT. The OS 12 had a very smooth and linear feel. The truck felt like it was glued to the surface. We made sure we presented a diverse section of track surfaces, including pavement, clay, and dirt. We even managed a monster jump for the NXT, and as you saw, it kept on a-trucking.
The NXT may be destined for a museum because Team Losi already has released a successor to the NXT, the XXT Nitro, based on the company's new electric design. It'll be very interesting to see just how well that does on the racing circuit. For now though, the NXT is a solid performer. Our very own Ross Bartuccio is up next with his unique brand of helpful tips. This week, he shows us his homemade electric dyno.
Thanks, Jeff. On an earlier program, I scratch built a nitro dyno. Well, I didn't forget you electric guys out there. I built an electric dyno. So you're probably wondering, well, why do I need a dyno anyway? Well, electric dyno shows you just how well your motors are performing. Now, I went to a local electronics store and picked up a few things I need to build this dyno. I started out with a small project box, 2 switches, a resistor, about 6 feet of speaker wire, and 4 sets of miniature alligator clips. Now I had the battery and my Raytech motor stand and an extra motor which I'm going to use for a slave motor. But forget all about that. It's all on the website. Now let's take a closer look and see how this really works. Hey, don't forget your voltmeter. Now this electric motor dyno runs on a 6-cell battery pack, 4-cell battery pack, or even your regulated power supply. Now I first insert my test motor in my motor jig, which is connected to my slave motor, which acts like a generator and feeds power to my voltmeter. The faster my motor turns, the higher the number on my voltmeter I'm going to read. Okay, by making one small change at a time to your motor, then re-dynoing it, you could see the changes if the motor got better or worse. Now remember, just one small change at a time. I'm the Ross Man. That's it. See you next week.
Our Blade Runner EP from Kyosho is now complete. During the assembly process, I came across a couple of tips that will ease the construction process. First, I used 10-minute epoxy wherever CA glue was called to seal out water. Now it's important, in order to achieve proper adhesion, it was necessary to lightly sand, and I underscore lightly, any parts that will come in contact with the epoxy. Next, when the boat is complete and it's time to apply the decals, take your time and use glass cleaner. You've seen that tip before for the cars. You spray your glass cleaner on, and then you can spray some on the back of the decals if you want, and then set your decals on and they move right where you want them to. Because these are very large decals and you'll need the extra time the glass cleaner buys you. So here it is, in the water and running, the Blade Runner EP from Kyosho.
The Blade Runner 101R from Kyosho is a state-of-the-art radio-powered scale offshore race. The ABS plastic hull is straight from the factory to assembled and waterproofing. Power is supplied via your typical 540 class motor with a compact, newly designed reduction gearbox that controls the horses. What makes this boat unique is its much-needed and effective water jacket coil. This coil keeps the motor much cooler since there is no air that makes its way into the hull. And believe me, these motors have a way of getting very hot. We are happy to see the inclusion of these coils. The hull is also new and different from your ordinary catamaran or tunnel hull. After extensive research, the Blade Runner lends itself well to super stable high speeds. This is the RC version of a boat that took the 1999 racing season by storm, the British Ice. With the left and right sponsons, it lifts up to racing attitude instantly and runs with blazing speed. You could easily pop in a mild modified and set the water on fire. At high speeds, the boat holds a stable attitude with very little rolling, changing direction as smoothly as if it was drifting. This ship's high thrust combined with stable turning gives you the same dynamic sailing performance as the full-size boat. Kyosho made sure your radio gear stays dry with its sealed mechanics box including fitted push system. We have seen it was a warm, sunny late afternoon, the kind that is perfect for an ice-cold lemonade and an RC speedboat. The Blade Runner was very responsive to our input. This boat could easily make the transition from backyard basher to full-blown racer.